Merry meet all. It is Midsummer's tide here in the Southern Hemisphere. It has been a while since I've done one of these types of diaries, and the lighting in here is atrocious. But, you know, the good part about that is my place is cooler than the average place would be for the darkness. It kind of sucks, so in winter it's extra cold. But anyway, enough of that. So one of the things I like to do every time the seasons change is change linens, including the kitchen, bedroom, etc., etc. But also I have different dish sets for different seasons, and I take out my dishes that are in the dark half of the year or the light half of the year, and put them in the easy access cupboards, opposed to in the cupboards I hardly get to or go to because they're kind of out the way. So I've pulled out my blue dish set for Midsummer, but I'm actually going to share one of my favourite things of Midsummer to do and make, which is vegan and super easy. And I don't know if anyone's tried this before, but it's something I've been having for the past 15 years or so. I'm a big fan of oranges, and you know, I get them of course when they're in season, and sometimes I just can't afford to get them. I really would love my own orange tree, but alas, because I do rent, it's a bit hard to have a really good potted orange tree unless you keep it miniature and, you know, all that sort of bizzo, and not the same as these big oranges anyway. So I love oranges. The other thing I do love as well is coconut cream. I'm vegan, so I don't consume dairy. And I love canned coconut cream. And I actually combine the two, and it's such an easy, simple treat. And after a day of it being hot and things being crazy, you feel like you start to fade a little bit. Instead of going straight for the coffee, this is actually a treat I like to have. And the kicker of it is, I'm going to pull something out. Hang on. Oops, I should have pulled it out beforehand. So I go through a 3 kilo bag of oranges. I'm going to show you in a second what I do with the peels. I don't throw them away. So I just chop up oranges as such, remove any of these seeds. Depending on the size, do a quarter or an eighth, just depending on how it is. Now I don't really care if I cut off some flesh, and I'm not fussed about the pith. We really want the pith, because I'll show you why in a minute. So I just do a really rough cut off the skin, pith with a little bit of flesh, doesn't matter. But yeah, so at this time of the year, Midsummer's tide or Litha in my ethnic tradition, I love this treat. The other thing I love is iced tea, and also I like making bulk thick pancakes, and while they're hot I actually spread on my sunflower butter, and just get my plate and basically put them in the fridge. So cold pancakes, but the butter has already been melted on there, and it's just like this really yummy I don't know, because I mean usually you think of pancakes as being warm with, you know, melting butter, and so you got the melted butter aspect, but you've got this other part of it that is cold, and when it's a hot day there's nothing nicer than you know, something nice and cold like that. So got your oranges cut, but I keep the peels and I put them in the fridge like this in water, and over the week I build up all my peels, and then I use it to either make candied orange peels or vegan jam. And anyway, so this is so simple. You won't believe how easy this is, but it's just so yummy. It's just really nice. Hang on, just get a spoon. So yeah, wooden spoon. Coconut orange treat, iced tea, and pre-made thick vanilla pancakes with butter put on them when they're warm. I've just taken the label off because I don't really need to be endorsing any brand in particular. So a little trick with the canned coconut cream is put it in the fridge before you open it, because it does thicken more when you put it in the fridge first before you use it. And I've had mine sitting out for a little bit, so it's not as thick as what it usually is, but it's still yummo. And then, yep, your teaspoon of sugar, and that's it. So, coconut orange. Absolutely yummo and perfect on a midsummer day, or in the tide of midsummer, and it's just so yummy. So if you've never tried coconut and oranges, try it. It's very yummy. So I thought I'd share that. And another thing I like to do is, I do like flowers, but you know what? I love herbs even more. So when I change my table setting and I put on a fresh bouquet, often I change my vases on a weekly basis. When I get herbs, so this is Catira nipida, i.e. catnip. When I get my herbs, I hang them upside down and dry them out, or I dry them out on the dehydrator. However, before I do that, I love having them in a vase. I mean, it's not a bunch of roses, but to me it's just as beautiful, and I love the smell, especially when it comes to the herbs in the Lamiaceae family or the mint family. But anyway, so if I'm also due to change my vase over, then I also change a vase over with the table arrangements. And I'll find there's herbs or plants in the season that I'm focusing on, in, you know, what I'm doing in the garden, what I'm doing with my animals, what I'm doing with myself, in all these different areas. And it's kind of a nice way to tie in what is seasonal in the house to what's seasonal outside, especially what's seasonal is also abundant, so you have a lot to do with. I love catnip tea myself. It's really nice. No, you don't go nuts as cats do. That it is nice, and I also use it in the herbal bath of my ducks, and of course my cat enjoys playing with the flowers. But anyway, so I thought I'd share something that I love in the tide of midsummer: coconut oranges. I haven't shown you my pancakes or my iced tea, but they're the two other things I love at this time of the year. So if you're still caught up in the change of the new year and getting your bearings, maybe think of what is the top 3 things you love when it's hot and midsummer. Because down here in the southern hemisphere, we're in the tide of the summer solstice, so that means the middle of summer, which was the 21st, whereas in the northern hemisphere, it's the tide of midwinter, or the winter solstice. It means the sun stands still in Latin, and it's to do with our proximity to the poles in rotation to the sun and the planets. So it's nothing to do with our Gregorian calendar, which is pretty much religious based. It's not actually based on science, because if it was, it would be different in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, and there would also be the connections to why we call the months what they are, and which is very old, ancient, I guess. But that's enough of that. Blessed be Mary Part. I hope you're all doing well, and I plan on making some garlands for midsummer. I'm thinking of actually crocheting some citrus. I don't have a lot of spare citrus. I'm pretty much consuming it all, making jams and everything, so I'm going to crochet some so I can hang them up to have that, I don't know, that extra little bit of summer zing in my kitchen. I might even, I don't know, you never know, I might actually show you how I do it. But anyway, that's it from me, and I have duckies in the tub. I can't always have duckies in the tub. Hello. We're in the mid-afternoon. Hello, baby girls. Oh, look at those squidgy bums. No, I'm gonna pinch your bums. No. Beep beep. This is Leuka and Sunna. So they come in first, and then I put them in the clean beds, and then I get everyone else. Blissabee and Merrypart. You say goodbye to the tubies. Leuka. Sunna. Blissabee, Merrypart. Wag your tail. No, puppies.